On the day of her sister's wedding, Amelia wasn't handed a bouquet, she was handed a secret that would shatter their family's perfect image and crown her the true heir to everything they thought was theirs. The morning I turned 18, my world ended, or at least, that's how it felt. My father's voice was sharp, his words cutting deeper than any blade. Take your nonsense elsewhere, Claire. You've made your choice. Now live with it. He stood on the porch of our grand estate, his hand gripping the rail as though holding onto some moral high ground. My mother hovered behind him, diamond earrings glinting under the rising sun, arms crossed in silent agreement. You're ungrateful, she said coldly. We sacrificed for you, and this is how you repay us? By throwing away a future people would kill for. Their anger wasn't new. It had been simmering for years, fed by my refusal to mold myself into the image they demanded. They wanted a doctor, a surgeon, someone polished, prestigious, and profitable. But all I wanted was to create, to paint, to design, to lose myself in colors and patterns that spoke louder than words ever could. In the end, it didn't matter. They shoved a worn backpack into my arms, with a crumpled $50 bill tucked inside and shut the iron gates behind me. That was the last morning I ever called that house a home. Freedom sounds romantic until it stares you in the face with an empty stomach and no plan. I remember sitting at the end of that pristine driveway, knees pulled to my chest, staring at the sprawling mansion as though it were a stranger. And then came the sleek hum of an engine. A black car slowed, stopped, and the tinted window lowered. Get in. It was Aunt Lillian, my father's older sister, the woman whispered about in family gossip but never invited to holiday dinners. Where my parents craved prestige, she thrived on independence. She had built her fortune in the world of renewable energy, a self-made billionaire who owed her success to grit, vision, and sheer refusal to be underestimated. I slid into the passenger seat, too stunned to question. You don't belong there, Claire, she said as the car glided away. You never did. Lillian became the mother I never truly had. Her penthouse overlooking the city felt like stepping into another universe, glass walls framing skyscrapers, shelves lined with books about innovators, dreamers, rebels. She never told me to give up art. Instead, she asked how I could use it to shape the future. Creativity isn't weakness, she'd remind me, watching as I sketched ideas on napkins. It's the spark that changes the world. Under her wing, I enrolled in design school. I thrived. I poured my soul into every project, earning awards, scholarships, and recognition that validated the very dreams my parents tried to crush. After graduation, Lillian invited me into her company, Eden Core Industries, to lead their design team. For the first time, I wasn't just surviving, I was living, but life has a cruel way of testing happiness. The day Lillian collapsed in her office, I knew something was wrong. Later, I discovered she had been battling cancer quietly, refusing to let it dictate her final years. Even in her weakest moments, she showed up at board meetings, challenged executives, and reminded me with every glance that strength wasn't about appearances, it was about persistence. 6 months later, she was gone. Her funeral drew crowds from across the globe, investors, politicians, employees, people she had touched through her brilliance. I sat in the front pew, clutching the pendant she had gifted me on my last birthday. A small silver key inscribed with 2 words, "Unlock tomorrow." That's when I saw them. My parents walked in late, their faces pulled into masks of dignity, though time had not been kind to them. My father's once dark hair had grayed unevenly, his shoulders stooped, while my mother's expensive dress did little to hide the bitterness etched in every line of her face. They spotted me instantly. "Claire," my mother said softly, saccharine dripping from her voice. "Darling, we've missed you." I almost laughed. Missed me? 5 years of silence, and now they suddenly remembered they had a daughter? Before I could respond, a woman in a navy suit approached. "Miss Claire Bennett?" she asked. "Yes. I'm Marianne Cho, Miss Lillian's attorney. The reading of the will is about to begin. Please follow me." We gathered in a private chamber at the funeral home, just my parents, Marianne, and me. The air was thick with anticipation, my parents' eyes locked greedily on the attorney's briefcase. Marianne began, her voice steady. "To my brother Charles and his wife Victoria." My father leaned forward, ready. "I leave exactly what they once gave my niece, $50, and the chance to walk away." My mother gasped. My father erupted. "This is an outrage. I am her only sibling." Marianne ignored him and continued. "To my niece, Claire Bennett, I leave my entire estate, This includes my controlling shares of Eden Core Industries, valued at $3.1 billion, all properties domestic and abroad, my investment portfolios, and all intellectual rights to Eden Core projects. The room fell silent. My mother's purse slipped from her lap to the floor. My father's face drained of color. Impossible, he muttered. Marianne looked directly at me. Additionally, Ms. Lillian Bennett named Claire Bennett as her successor, effective immediately, as CEO of Eden Core Industries. The silver key around my neck suddenly felt heavy. My parents launched into panic. "She's just a child," my father shouted. "She draws pictures. She can't run a company." But Marianne calmly produced documents. Claire has been leading Eden Core's design division for the past year, spearheading innovations that increased market value by 45%. Lillian documented every achievement. This was no accident, it was training. My mother changed tactics, her voice trembling with false tenderness. "Sweetheart, this is overwhelming. Let us help you. We're your family." Family. The word curdled on my tongue. "Family doesn't abandon their child with $50, I said quietly. Marianne slid a sealed envelope across the table. My name was written in Lillian's elegant handwriting. I opened it with shaking hands. "My dearest Claire, if you're reading this, it means everything has unfolded exactly as I knew it would. Your parents will reveal their greed again, but you, my brilliant girl, are ready. I didn't choose you because you're my niece. I chose you because you see the world differently. Use that vision. Unlock the tomorrow I never got to finish. Enclosed in my private safe is Project Horizon. It will change lives. Trust yourself, Claire. You were never weak. You were always extraordinary. With love always, Lillian." Tears blurred the words, but strength anchored me. I looked up at my parents, who were already plotting their next move. "Ms. Cho," I said firmly, "please arrange for security to escort them out, and file an order preventing them from accessing any Eden Core property." My father's face turned purple. "You ungrateful little—" "Also," I interrupted, "prepare a press release. I'll be addressing the board tomorrow morning as Eden Core's new CEO." The following months were brutal. Court battles, media scrutiny, a board testing my every decision. But with Lillian's training and the files she left behind, I stood my ground. 1 year later, Eden Core launched Project Horizon, a groundbreaking renewable energy system that provided affordable power to underdeveloped regions. The world called it revolutionary, investors called it genius. I called it fulfilling her dream. My parents tried to sue. They lost. My father's shady financial dealings surfaced, stripping him of his reputation. My mother attempted reconciliation once, leaving a voicemail dripping with desperation. I never called back. Today, I sit in Lillian's old office, now mine, the city lights stretching out like stars. The silver key still hangs around my neck, though I don't need it anymore. Because I finally understand what it means to unlock tomorrow. Not through money, not through power, but through the courage to be exactly who I am, without apology. I am Claire Bennett, CEO of Eden Core Industries, the girl they threw away, the heir they never saw coming.